Hello and welcome to the ME7 podcast and episode 5 of Look Back Live. The month of February has been a solid but not a spectacular one for the Gills. Wins against Notts County and Wrexham, draws against Swindon and Walsall, and a singular defeat to Newport secured Stephen Clemence's men 9 points out of a possible 15. Yes, welcome back to tonight's show. On tonight's show then, we will be speaking about all the games from the last month. We will also be picking out our player of the month. We'll be reading out your 3-word month comments that you've kindly sent in on our social media platforms. We'll also be showing you a little snippet interview from the co-owner, Shannon Gallinson, that me and Owen had the privilege and honour to interview the other day. And our usual game show that Owen and Josh Wilson, tonight's guest, is going to be going on later tonight. So tonight's guests, that leads me on nicely. I mean, Stanley and Josh Wilson making your debut on tonight's show. Before I come to Owen, as I always do, I'm going to come to you first. Good evening, mate. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much.
Good. Your debut on here. You've been on the Twitter Spaces before, but
yes, and one of the early YouTube videos, if people remember that.
Yes. I forget how long we've been running this now. Far too long. Some people probably would say. But on here tonight, looking forward to it.
Yeah, immensely so. As you say, it's been a bit of a weird month. We've had 2 amazing victories, probably some of our best performances of the season, and we've been inconsistent, which is the tail of our season, really. Yeah. But it's going to be interesting to dissect that tonight. Yeah,
consistently inconsistent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Someone said to me, Owen, we'll bring you in, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. Very happy with how Monday went with Shannon, which everyone will see in due course. I think it's probably the best work we've done as a podcast. I think we're very proud of it. I'm sure everyone will love it. I think Forge Cake was brilliant, and obviously thank you for your time, and everyone's going to really enjoy it. On the pitch matters, obviously very happy after Saturday, great win, but got to follow it up. That's all we can say. After every big win, we got to follow it up. We do that, we'll have a chance.
True. The Wrexham game on Saturday. I suppose we have to start there, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Incredible result against. I guess in a game that, on paper beforehand, we weren't expecting to win, considering the 2 runner forms the teams were going into the game. But I felt certainly second half it was probably one of our best performances of the current season.
I agree. I think particularly in the second half we managed them very, very well. You can only really recall from that second half the triple save from Morris, and even that was really sort of, he made a rub for his own back, but it was still an amazing save from Morris. Not detracted from that at all. I think he had a very, very good performance. I can only really recall them getting in behind in the first half. We managed them excellently. One of our best defensive performances of the season, probably since maybe Stockport, the first game of the season. Yeah,
I mean, a singular goal won it through Timmy Dieng. It looked like it was a set piece off the training ground. Clipped to the back post, put back across goal by Conor Muss and tapped in by Timmy Dieng. I felt that certainly second half we deserved that, in all fairness, across the course of the game.
Yeah, I think so. I'm glad it was Dieng, because I don't think any other player's name would have worked for the title of the podcast that I put out on Saturday. I thought they were very ordinary. I thought they looked like a team who were out of form. Their away form's been terrible, apart from a win against Sutton, which obviously you'd expect them to get. Only came away from Forest Green last night with a point after our game, so it shows that they're, I don't want to say they're bottling it, because our home form's still really good, but they do seem to be in a position where it's starting to falter at a bad time. And look, I thought the Tuesday game prior against Stockport, I didn't think we were particularly good. I thought we played for a draw and it wasn't exciting. But I said at the time, if we were to beat Wrexham, then it would be a good point. And it turned out to be just that, because we got 3 points against the Wrexham side, which glitz and glamour off the pitch, not much on it on the day. I thought we were the better side. Maybe could have gone for it a bit more and got a second goal, but I can see why we were a bit more conservative. When we played Swindon, I felt a lot more nerves holding on in that game, which ultimately didn't in the end, than I did on Saturday. I didn't really feel that we were any, like Josh says, other than the Glenn Morris save, I didn't really feel that we were in any immediate danger, so to speak. I thought we were pretty comfortable. And obviously it's nice to get a trophy at the end with the FA Cup. You don't really get that from any of the 2 games, so that was a nice little bonus. And yeah, look, it's a result that is important in the grand scheme of the season, because we're going to go into a final 12 or 11 games now against some really tough oppositions. Barrow twice, Mansfield, Morecambe are in and around us, Wimbledon are in and around us. We, out of all the teams fighting for those playoff places, I'd probably argue, I haven't seen everyone else's running, but I'd argue we have probably the hardest one, because, when you look at it, you can't get much worse than that. And, if we want to be where we want to be, you've got to not just get the better of these teams in terms of performance, you've got to beat them. And, ultimately we can all walk away from a draw against Stockport and say, well, it's okay because it's a draw against a team top of the league, but it doesn't matter who it is, you've got to win the games if you want to be where you want to be. And that's why the win on Saturday was so important.
Yeah, Josh, let's go back to the start of the month then. It was a 1-1 draw to Walsall. Conor Masterson become this top goal scorer of ours that he's not known for, but it was one of those games that I guess if we look back on and we end up this nearly side that Clements has mentioned to us before, that is the perfect example that afternoon, isn't it? Is that too many times is that we're beating and we're getting good results against the teams in and around the playoffs and in and around the top 3s, but it's games like Forest Green and I think when we played Walsall, they were 16th, 17th. So
they were 16th last night.
Yeah, we were 16th last night. So it's games like that are probably frustrating, aren't they?
Yeah, I found the Walsall game very frustrating. It was sort of a tale of our season, wasn't it? I feel like we start slowly in every game. At the time as well, it felt like a really bad point. In retrospect, obviously, Walsall, their form has improved a great deal, and now they're probably the form team in the division, along with Newport, which is a weird thing to say. But both of those teams are chasing playoffs. We played Walsall twice now. I think our worst performance of the season was Walsall away, and they came to our place and they did a job, and we had no answer for it, really. I know we equalised, but yeah, for me, tail of the season, unfortunately.
Yeah, it then leads on to the next game, which is the level of frustration that we get from, is because the Notts County away performance is the best performance away from home all season, and we go from, like Josh has said, we've gone from being sort of a half-hearted side where we can't dig results out, and it's a frustrating performance. We go to Notts County and we look like we're gonna go on and go on this consistent run of form.
Yeah, it was a weird game, that, because I did come into it thinking we had half a chance, because I don't think they're that good, to be completely honest. I know Langstaff and Goldrick, Joe Jones on his own, to be fair, broke the assist record in that particular game. I think he's got a few more since then, but they're a very tidy team, pass, but not a lot of substance, to be honest with you. And I think we're seeing that now. They've been on a poor run of results. They won yesterday. Who'd have seen that coming 4-3 at home to Sutton? I mean, that's its own story in itself. But look, we went there and we didn't start particularly well, as we don't often do in first halves. Went a goal behind, but we didn't fold, which is good. We went straight back at them, equalised within 3 or 4 minutes. Roddy Hawkins, Max Clark scores a great goal, and from then on, I thought we were really, really comfortable. Getting the third goal as early as we did in the second half obviously helped. So it settled everyone down, and I'm not exaggerating. We could have walked away from that game winning 4 or 5-1. It wouldn't really have flattered us, because they did nothing in the second half. Not turn this into a segment to just berate Notts County, but I think they're an example of a team who, a bit like Wrexham, to be honest, who have a lot of good players, but as a team they don't particularly gel. I know Luke Williams leaving would have probably dismantled them a little bit, but definitely. I just don't see it with them. I think they're going to be a team who are going to probably be the Stockport or Mansfield this season next year. I think for them, a year out is not probably the worst thing in the world, maybe for Wrexham as well. But yeah, I thought we went there, did a job, and I'm really professional and deserved to win. And, you know, it's no coincidence that since then, and even just before then, they seem to be, you know, going the opposite end. I think they're down to 14th now, which, you know, really yesterday, if you look at the results, other than the Walsall ones, they were actually quite kind. No, I think we'd probably be asking a bit much for every team around us to lose yesterday, but I think all in all, it was a good night, and Notts County are falling away, which means there's another team we don't have to worry about potentially.
Yeah, the following couple of games saw us pick up 1 point out of the next two games, and when we talk about that inconsistency, where I felt that we got ourselves in front against Swindon, got pegged back. We then obviously went to Newport and comfortably won I would say comfortably one of our worst performances of the current campaign away from home, certainly. But that is that level of inconsistency, isn't it, Josh? Is that we go from playing so well on that Friday night against Notts County, where we could have easily, like Evan said, beaten them 4-5-1, to picking up 1 point. It's well. If you look at the Stockport game as well, we then pick up 2 points out of the next 3 games, which I guess if you're going on for a promotion charge, just not quite good enough, is it?
No, I feel like that there was an element of us being a bit deflated after the Swindon game. Not only did we concede quite late in that game, Harry McCurdy scored a screamer. You know, probably could have closed him down a little bit better, but he does score goals like that all the time. This is just the reality of a player like him in the league. And Jorge was also magic in that game. And then obviously following that, we found out that he had a significant injury. And I feel that it had an effect just on us and just almost the whole club. It felt like, you know, we'd not unearthed the gem because he's Watford's player, but when you have someone that briefly and they shine really brightly as he did, to lose him, I think must have been incredibly frustrating because he was such an outlet for us in the games that he played, and I feel that it had a hangover effect on the next 2 games.
I think we have to talk about him, Jorge Hurtado. It's I guess it's a situation where I feel like it's bittersweet for me, because it's obviously fantastic that what he did for us and the impact that he made for us in such a short amount of time. But does it almost tell you a telling factor that we were so upset about him getting injured that we almost pinned our hopes on him becoming injured, that it, to some Jules fans, it completely derailed our season?
Yeah.
I think if anyone thinks it's derailed our season, it's a bit extreme. But he's clearly a very talented player. We never got to see him in terms of actually in a striking position, in terms of having a shot or having a good chance. I didn't really see what his finishing's like. Neither have really seen that from Josh Walker either yet. But the one thing I would say about Jorge is, I know obviously the window's not open, but I would be, if I was the powers that be, Jacket, Hess, I would be contacting Watford and saying, look, we've had him for 3 games. We liked what we saw. Let's try and get a pre-agreement or verbal agreement before the window opens. So I'd say we have him at least until January next year, because I'm sure he'd be open to come back in. I doubt Watford would have seen enough for him to suggest that they'd either want to keep him in their team or loan him a league higher, because he hasn't proved himself in his division, if we're being honest. Like, he was very exciting. He was the reason we got a point against Swindon, if we're being completely honest, because we were very poor up until that point. Although that was probably the most excited and most entertained I've been leaving a Gills game in recent years. Fair result, really good game. But yeah, I think to pin our hopes on him would have been a bit of pressure for someone who's, you know, very young, doesn't speak the language, and hasn't played men's football in England before, apart from like a small cameo performance in the FA Cup against Chesterfield. But I don't know if it's going to be possible. I don't know if maybe other teams have seen enough of his performances to think we'll have him at League One level or whatever else. But he's certainly, if we're talking about pieces of business, it reminds me a bit of, you know, when we had Jordan Graham before COVID and he got cut off, and the first thing we did was make sure we had him back in the summer. I'm sure we won't be able to sign him permanently, but I would be going to Watford before the window opens and just trying to make a little gentleman's agreement that, you know, he came here to play the rest of the season, didn't quite manage it. Let's try and tie him down for at least the first 6 months of next season. And if we do that, that's already a massive sign-in to have before the start of the year. Unless he gets injured again, then.
Yeah, I guess we've mentioned about the frustrating point against Stockport and a win on Saturday. We've mentioned about them too. So just to round off the month, then in a short part piece, you've got 1 minute each. Not even that. How would you assess the month as a whole?
Consistently inconsistent, promising but frustrating for me. That those two phrases, I think, sum it up.
I think, to be honest, we're just lucky that everyone else is as inconsistent as we are. You know, the reason there's 8+ teams fighting for 2 spots isn't because they're all really good. It's because they're all equally very bad.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
No one in this league has got any consistency. And as I've said, the team who finds that are the team who's going to get that 7th spot or 6th even, because we're only 3 points behind Barrow now, so maybe they slip. I don't know. Got to play them twice so we can have a big hand in that.
Okay. Let's move on to individual players then. I'm going to put you two on the spot now. Your player of the months. Who would you go for across the games?
I reckon we're going to pick the same player.
It's got to be Connor, isn't it, for me?
Who are you going to go?
Connor Masterson, yeah.
You're not going to go the same player? Okay.
I was going to go Max.
Yeah.
Why Connor, Josh?
His involvement both ends of the pitch has been fantastic. I think all 3 of the defenders have been very good. I think that Glenn actually brought the best out of them because of his distribution on Saturday as well. But, you know, Connor became our top goal scorer for the season, and he grabbed himself 2 assists this month as well, which is incredibly impressive for a centre-back.
I've actually, so if I was doing player of the season now, I'd have Max and Connor in the top 3.
Yeah.
I'd have Max first. I think he's someone who, from me included, has received a lot of flack over the years, but I think the last 2 seasons has been quietly very, very good and not really spoken about too much. I know Connor's obviously got the goals and Max is due one. I think his last one would have been the Dagenham and Redbridge goal last year in the FA Cup, maybe.
Yeah.
But I think Max has been really, really good this year. I think he was really good last year as well, and he's just very solid and dependable. I think Connor and Shad have really helped with him being there because he is the experienced one. And, you know, I'd love to see him get more praise than he does get, but I think if he takes away the Player of the Year award, which I don't think he will overall, I think people will probably look towards Coleman and Ogie, then Connor maybe, but I think Max is in a real shout of being Player of the Season this year. I think he's been really, really good. One of his strongest seasons in years. And as I say, last year was very good in a year that was ultimately very bad.
I'm going to throw someone in there for my one. The other Max Clark.
Yes. Yeah.
I think he's been very, very good, actually. Scored against Notts County, looked defensively solid. I think he's probably one of the main reasons why now we've obviously gone into the back 3 under Clements. This month, we've got a consistent delivery from that left hand. We're getting it from Hutton, and now we're getting it from the other side where we're getting that consistent delivery. The one that he stuck on Hawkins' head against Swindon was that, and that's not easy from that.
No.
From that short range.
He should have scored the first one.
Who, Hawkins? yeah. Oh, all right. Yeah, fair enough. I suppose we'll talk about Hutton from Hutton.
Yep.
I think he's been very, very, very good down that right hand side, and
No, I agree.
I feel sorry for him sometimes on a Saturday afternoon where he's absolutely screaming for the ball and no one is looking at him. And I think technically he's also one of our best players.
I really agree. I can't say anything more. I think that Romeo is an incredibly talented footballer, and his delivery is. He's one of the best creative players in this league from a defensive position. The thing that frustrates me a lot of the time is when we're playing out from the back, what you'd like to see is almost that ball from your goalkeeper straight to the fullback or the wing back in that instance. But we don't. We play it out quite slowly, and it means that he gets marked up. And that must be incredibly frustrating for him because he's always looking to run on and create chances. So I hope that improves, and I think if it does, we'll get a greater output from him. I think he almost got an assist against Wrexham early doors as well. Great little player.
I think he's probably the best right back we've had in a good few years. Reason is we've had like people like Shea and Robbie I describe as solid mid to lower table League Two fullbacks. That's no disrespect to him, but I think Hutton is at least a League One level fullback. He's been desperately unlucky. The Hawkins header against Swindon, that should be an assist. The Dieng one against Notts County, that should be an assist. It will get there. I know people from the outside who don't support Gills might look at it and think 0 goal involvements, what a poor signing, but he's been our best one of the window. That's quite evident, and I'm sure once he gets one, he'll get another and another and another, and then, the MK Dons one as well. He's not like he's not providing the necessary chances for the strikers. They just need to put it in the net, and I'm sure he's more frustrated about that than anyone. I'm sure he had a good word of Hawkins where he put his one straight on his head, he hit the post, and he puts Max Clark's one in 2 seconds later. I bet that didn't go down well.
Okay. The season tickets were for the 24-25 campaign were released a couple of days ago. So here is the wonderful video that Block Pictures created.
Oh, stop it!
I can remember writing in my diary at school as an infant, what did you do at the weekend? Went to Gillingham.
I fell in love when Gills won at Wembley when I was 9. When we won, some random man next to me picked me up like this, thought I was going to be thrown down, and it was the best moment of my life. Andy Hessenthaler, loved him, fell in love with the Gills there and then.
My journey in this crazy club started back in 1997. I was 7 years old.
I was 8, so I went with my mum and my granddad as well, who loved Gillingham. It was brilliant.
I fell in love at the Man City playoff final because I was a lot younger then. Done it for me, and I was like, right, that's it now. I'm there, and I'm not leaving.
Just the love of the club, it just made me fall in love with Gillingham.
Afford to miss that one game.
It's just like having the experience to come up here, like to see all the players and all that. I mean, like with like other clubs in like Premier League, you don't really get signatures from players that often, but here, like when they're training there, you get to like come to the barriers and then you can get their signature or photo.
It would never stop. It would never stop. Like I've just had my first child, and for Christmas I got my Gills kit with his name on the back. And me and my dad was joking, saying all the football clubs in England that he could support, he doesn't have a choice. He's going to be a Gillingham fan whether we're non-league or Premier League, and that's the way it is. We're Gillingham through and through. As long as there's a club and we're playing football on a Saturday, we'll be there cheering them on.
And there is the season ticket video for the 24-25 campaign. And a very, very proud moment here at the ME7 podcast. Warren, we've managed to get you on the show. There you go. You've been asking for it. We've got you on the show. So there you go, Warren. The hashtag that the football club put out alongside the season ticket video is I fell in love with when ... and people have been sending in their memories. Josh, go on in. When did you fall in love with this wonderful football club?
I mean, I'd like to say it was my first game, but it was really cold. We lost 3-1 at home to Sheffield United, and I wore a full kit, including boots, which was really uncomfortable. But there are so many memories to mention. Wembley, Simeon Jackson, last minute, surviving on the last day of the season, Andy Hessenthaler rugby tackling. Who was it? He rugby tackled. I can't remember for the life of me. Anyway, there are so many memories for me in this club. It's a really special thing. It's what I do with my dad. It's what we've done since I was 6 or 7 years old, and I'm almost 30 now. So, I've always been in love with this club, probably a bit too much for my sins.
Owen, what about you?
Struggle to like him at the best of times. Probably, well, my first game was a 2-2 draw with Tranmere here, and Andrew Croft scored a brace. But I think that was more when I was just going and getting into it. So I know it's obvious and cliche, I probably would say Wembley was the first time I probably felt it. Because before I just went as with my dad as a casual thing. I didn't really think too much about it. But I think when I went to Wembley and we won, that was the clincher. They have the whole games on YouTube. I go and watch time to time.
Yeah, so do I.
There you go. I put mine up the other day. I'll have to have a little look. What did I say?
It means a lot to you. You can't remember it.
Yeah, so much. It was 2002. We beat Watford 3-0, and yeah. So there you go. We put up yesterday. How would you review the month of February? Tell us in 3 words. Before I read the comments out that we got in, can you review it in 3 words?
Good, bad, repeat.
Good, bad, repeat.
Muy bien football.
Whatever that means.
I love football.
Yeah.
That was like a tart.
There you go. All right. Mixed out about tartar.
Totally inconsistent consistently.
Totally consistent consistently. There we go. So, yeah, there we go. Right. So, comments we've got from socials then. We've got Dave Miller. Supermax Aimer is one. We've got Gilles Gregg said consistently, very inconsistent. Gilles SFT said still consistently inconsistent. Stu Lewis said Jorge Cabezes Hurtado. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Yeah. Mike Cunningham said 9 from 18. Luke Draper said big roller coaster ride. Roller coaster?
You hyphenate it.
Yeah, that's what he's done. Gillingham Stew said a mixed bag. David Miller said solid, not spectacular. Yeah, Dave, I nicked that for my intro. Cheers, mate. Chris Jones said 7 out of 10. Stu Chillmade said glass half empty. Keelan says still within reach. Nathan Swan said World Cup winners. Not sure what is that?
Should I wear Matt Olsen?
Yeah, probably. Kim Pringle said a bit frustrating. Jack Elwell said very satisfying indeed.
Oh, he's talking because the Wrexham commentary, World Cup.
Ah, there we go. UCG said in the mix. Richard Cherry said up and down. And then the last 2 comments were up and down as well. So, and then someone else said Warren for pod. So there you go. So, yeah. So I knew someone would get it in there. Yeah, that's basically the 3 word month review of February. There we go. I just want to pick out about a couple of individual players then. Ollie Hawkins, consistently on this show, consistently come back into the team now properly. He's got a full month firmly under his belt. I feel we are a much better team with him in it. How would you feel about Ollie's contribution currently?
I agree. It gives us a focal point to play off. which I feel that we lacked at points prior to him coming back. I'm just devastated we've not got to see Josh Andrews, because obviously he's a similar profile of player, just a little bit more mobile than Ollie. But yeah, it's given us a springboard and a real platform to play off, which we've lacked at times this season.
Yeah, look, Ollie's what he says on the tin. He's someone who's going to probably score you a goal if he's unmarked in a 6-yard box. That's what his profile is. He's not quite the full package that a Tom Eaves was, who's a similar stature, or like Josh Andrews might be. Ollie's very much a hold-up striker and lethal where you want him to be in the 6-yard box. Even if he's not marked, he'll win the header, because that's just the type of calibre player he is. And look, he's got more goals, I believe, than any of the strikers that are still here. But look, he does what he says in the tin. Ollie is very reliable at what he does, and I think the idea might be that Josh Andrews is sort of not right now, or maybe not even next season, but he's probably signed in order to be the next Ollie Hawkins, if you like. If Ollie chooses to move on, or if we tries to go somewhere else at some point, then Josh Andrews is probably there to fill that void of that sort of calibre of striker. So it'd be interesting to see when Josh is fit and Ollie presumably is fit at the same time, how we go about that. But yeah, it'd be nice to have someone of a similar standard as well.
Okay, I guess we've got to talk about the goalkeeping situation then. We did see Glenn Morris make his league debut on on Saturday, which is, I guess, surprising considering he'd won our Player of the Season last year. But Jake did get the nod at the start of the season and has carried it right through from Neil Harris's reign to now Stephen Clements's. So he must be doing something right to impress not one manager but two managers. How do you feel about the current goalkeeping situation, Josh?
I think it's a really interesting one. Both keepers have totally different qualities to them. Like Jake is almost like having another centre back in the box because of his physical frame. He's very useful from set pieces, and he's a big presence. And I do think that he's a very, very good shot stopper, particularly in one-on-one situations. However, Glenn, his reflex saving is fantastic. It's second to none at this level for me. I don't think you can see a better keeper for that, and his distribution is better than Jake's. It's undeniable. Saturday, balls were going where they were supposed to, rather than out for touch, which unfortunately Jake has a penchant for. But you know, they have different qualities. But I adore Glenn. I think he's a phenomenal keeper, and I'm happy to see him back in the starting lineup.
Yeah, I've always said the best thing, it was the same last year under Harris, that we've got two very, very good goalkeepers. I'd still say now we probably have two of the best goalkeepers in the league, to be honest. Certainly the best duo. It's a really relaxed situation for me, because it's not one of those where you have a standard first choice keeper and then you have a reserve who's maybe not quite ready or not as good, and you think, well, if one of them's injured, we've got to play the other one. For me, if there's either Morris or Turner on the team sheet, presuming Turner's going to be fit for Saturday, I think it was only a minor problem he had, wasn't it? If I see Turner on the team sheet against Salford, or I see Morris, either way, I'm happy. It's just both just very good keepers for this level. And I saw Wrexham fans the other day and made a point about being irritated that they didn't test a 40-year-old keeper. It's like, he's been the player of the year at his club for 3 consecutive seasons. Like, he's 40 years old, but he's still better than your keeper, and probably every other one in the division.
Feel passionate about it, do you reckon?
I like Glenn.
I like Glenn.
He's a good lad.
Let's talk about the manager, Stephen Clements. 9 points out of a possible 15. I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to be totally honest. And I said it to Nick in the factory on Saturday, and I'm gonna still remain with the opinion of I'm still not yet convinced. I'm still not yet convinced by him, and I'm gonna keep that opinion at the moment. Currently, I'm getting a stern look off Nick. But how do you feel about Steve Clements at the moment?
I think it's still too early to judge. Almost until you've had a pre-season, you can't really comment. But we have been incredibly inconsistent. I think under him, we've had some of our worst displays of the season. I don't think our worst display of the season, but we've also had our best displays of the season. I don't think that's arguable. I think we've had our our best away performance away at Notts County. One of our best home performances against Wrexham and Salford as well was very, very good. But we've also had some pretty abject performances, like we had against Forest Green and Warsaw and away to Newport.
Go on, mate.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I'm a bit like you. I don't see. It's easy to ignore for me when we're winning games and we're getting results because that's all I care about ultimately. But I'm still not really seeing a massive sign of his particular style. It concerns me still that we're not scoring particularly a lot of amount of goals that are from open play. Don't get me wrong, the goal on Saturday was very well worked, and obviously I don't care how it goes in as long as it does. But I would like to see us more of a free-flowing attacking force because I think we do have the players to do that. I think Hurtado was probably a big part of that, but obviously that's gone now. The players we've brought in, it remains to be seen. Obviously Hutton's a very good signing, but the others, you know, Andrews we haven't seen yet. Walker's not done anything, to be honest, and obviously Jorge's injured. So yeah, I'm still looking to see what a Stephen Clement's team ultimately looks like. But you know, if he gets us into the playoffs and wins them without having a style of play, I won't care.
Question then, we've literally got a minute. What would you say Stevie Clements' strengths are and weaknesses? I'll come to you first, and then I'll come to you. Go for it. Or Clements and Stockdale. You can take them as a pairing if you want to.
I think they came off very, very well. The fans forum, I think you were there, weren't you?
Yeah.
Both of you.
Yeah.
They spoke very, very well, and they appeared like a calming influence, which is nice. And they had a level head on them, which I think they're going to need because football fans are incredibly reactionary.
I don't know, to be honest. Strengths and weaknesses. To be honest, where I don't see the style yet, I can't really say either way, to be honest. And you know, sadly we're out of time for this segment, so I can't give you an answer.
All right, fair enough. Cheers, mate. Yeah, we had the honour and the privilege to interview our co-owner, Shannon Gallinson. Here is a snippet from that interview.
Obviously, you did end up having your first game here. I think this is the Leicester game in the FA Cup where you had the LED boards, which were obviously just for that fixture at the time,
Right.
out here permanently. Going across, it was all welcome to the Gallinsons, sold out crowd, I believe. You, Brad, Lakeland, and Matt knew that.
Yeah, very good.
Walking around the pitch in questionable suits for the gents, I must say. Sort of like a curtain colour.
Right.
You got that massive reception from the crowd. It felt like a whole rejuvenated stadium for it would have been a week compared to that. What was that feeling for you, like walking out on the pitch the first time, not meeting everyone per se, but just seeing what your future was going to look like for Priestfield?
So the man behind the camera, Black Pictures, would be able to speak to that better than anybody in the room because he saw the emotion after the whole thing. It was the craziest, most powerful. I'm getting emotional, and if you'd better cut it right.
Right, welcome back to tonight's show. As you can see, we've got our Director of Operations at the football club, Joe Compart.
Hello.
Good evening.
I was going to say welcome to you, but you're welcoming me.
Yeah,
anyway,
I'm welcoming
welcome
you.
everyone.
It's at the other side. Right. Yeah, good evening. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. I've just left a meeting with the supporters club committee. We've been, they've been roasting me on all sorts of different questions. So I said I was expecting to be done by now, but I said I'll be back in 10 minutes. I've nipped out to.
Oh, you got 10 minutes?
No, I've got time.
Okay. Yeah. I guess let's start Saturday before we go on to actually roasting you.
Yeah.
But we'll start Saturday.
Yeah.
What a win against
so
Wrexham.
good. And this is selfish. You'll have to bear with me, but the off-field team who don't get the plaudits right. Ultimately, we're all here for the football. We know that. But with the increase in number of people here, there's an increase in demand on and stress, I suppose, on our resources there, and they delivered so well across the club, and I was really proud of them. And then once the game kicks off, you sort of I almost go, our work is in a way done, and then you go, okay, now it's actually the important bit, and those guys delivered. So it was a good weekend for the whole club on and off the field. which is nice when that all comes together, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's then almost a perfect time to then release season tickets, isn't it? Is that off the back of a win, it's nice to then release it then because the mood's high. People that have been here for the first time see what the football club's about.
Yeah.
And you go, right, okay, you've been here for the first time, you've loved it. Why don't you sign up? I mean, sign your life away.
Yeah. One thing we've really been working on as a club is trying to get ahead. Right. One of the criticisms that I saw when I first come here was everything seems to be last minute. Everything seems to be late in the day. Shirts, for example, you know, they'll arrive 3 weeks into the season. and on the whole, on most things, we've really moved forward. Our sponsors seem to be done earlier, which means our shirts can be done. Our shirts are ordered in late October, early November, right, for next year. Great. Like the first year, I think they were ordered in May, something like that. So we were, and it's the same principle with season tickets. So we've been having the conversation in January about price, how we're going to go about it. We spoke with Block and we started talking about marketing plans. And actually, we then was like, look, we're ready. You know, there's obviously, okay, we could get promoted to League One, and okay, we've covered that base where we say, look, the price will go up for those who don't commit. Should we be promoted and people haven't committed, those people who commit after that point will pay a higher price. But I think that's pretty standard in football. That happens. But it was a case of we're ready. We have our price and everything. Ben Reeves in particular done a fantastic job getting everything ready, and hopefully people see the process is easier than 2 years ago, 1 year ago. Every year, I think the process becomes smoother, and he's done a great job getting them up and running. And the key for that earliness is giving people that extra month in the payment plan. So last year we managed to offer 4, which is great. This year we've managed to sneak in 5. So as long as people commit by tomorrow, they can access the 5 months of the payment plan rather than 4. So we've got it out early for the supporters. Right, there's no. There's a real benefit. I suppose we get cash in the building earlier. I suppose, and it gives us more time to sell. But the main reason for the quick or the early sale was to basically allow supporters that extra time to buy.
Yeah, has it been received then for the first couple of days in the season tickets? How would you say it's been received by a support base?
Yeah, I haven't got an update. I work from home often on a Wednesday, so I haven't been in the office today and received an update from Ben. But yesterday, I think 10% of last year's total had been sold in the space of 24 hours. So
that's very good, actually.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Really pleased. I know there's a few things that people aren't particularly happy about, which I'm sure you're going to come to in a second. and if I'm honest, that's the main reason why I said, look, you know, I'm happy to come on and speak to those, because appreciate not everyone's going to agree with everything we do, and if you can go, look, this is why we've done it, and hopefully people will go, okay, don't agree with it, but at least we're here explaining. You know, that's important.
Yeah. Let's get on to the price. I mean, for my season ticket, an adult, it's a £15 increase, which I think general inflation. I think that's brilliant, to be honest. In all fairness, considering that we could well be League One football, it could happen, and you're only paying £15 effectively to go up a division. But there is a price increase, particularly in the young adult and under 18s area. Do you just want to explain that?
Yeah, so a lot of it, if I'm honest, we looked historically and thought the young adult pricing doesn't really align with the adult. Right? Obviously, a young adult price needs to be cheaper than an adult. So, some clubs don't even run a young adult, but we do and always have, which is great. And we looked at the amount of, if you compare your match day price of an adult to the season ticket price to an adult, you know, you sort of go, okay, that's about right as the fee. If you compare your match day price for a young adult to your season ticket price for it was a huge gulf. And there should be a gulf, because, you know, you season ticket holders are the ones who commit, and there's got to be a reason to commit, which is great. But the young adult one, to me, seemed huge. And really, we've just brought it in line with sort of how it is, how the adult one is calculated and so on. It's never going to be perfect, but it's closer. Now we would look at it. Let's look at it from two sides, right? The football club who's setting the price. We would look at it and go, well, we're correcting the price in our view. Where this is almost like how it should have been. However, can also see it from the supporters' side that it's a huge jump in one go, and I totally understand that, and I do get it. And do you know what, we could have crept it up every year, and in 3 years' time, it's gone up every single year, and in our view, the price needed to go from here to here. We're honest, we're up front. In our view, we're correcting it and bringing it in line with the rest of the pricing in relation to match day prices. But there are a small number of people that are affected by that, and I understand, and I get the frustration. We were ready for it. We knew it wasn't going to be popular. No one ever goes, yes, I get to pay an extra 60 quid. Like, we're not stupid. We know that's not going to happen. But, in our view, it was sort of correcting how it should look across the board. Something else, I'll bring it to the table, and I don't know if you will, but there's some areas where the price has gone right up. There's very few people who I would suggest are really, really suffering with huge increases. Yeah. There are a few, right? So the majority of the people, I think, as you did, adult ticket, £15, fine, no problem. There's a few in our premium areas, right? So in this stadium, and this comes on to about the securing the seat date as well. There's certain areas in this stadium that are really heavily congested with season ticket holders, which is brilliant, right? That's what we want. Now, 2 of those 3 are on the halfway line either side. Now, the prices are, and some people go, the price has gone right up for me. Well, yeah, it has, because you're got an under 14 or an under 18 seat in a premium area. They still have the ability to buy in the block along. Like you almost, the adults have always paid a premium, by the way, in those areas. The young adults and the under 14, the under 18s, the under 14s, play a slight premium, but nowhere near in line as the adults. So again, we're correcting it. It makes that increase seem huge, but in our view, we're just bringing the price in line with what we believe it should look like.
Yeah, just to round it off, mate, because I know you need to shoot back.
I heard there was a quiz. I was planning to figure out with a quiz.
Do you want to jump in?
I will.
There is a quiz, so we get you on the quiz. Yeah, we've seen this season. It's an overall better matchday experience here at the football club. We've seen that kindly you've allowed us to become a part of that matchday experience, whether people like it or not. I do not know.
We all make mistakes.
Yeah, I know. That's your part, not us. We've become a part of it, but we've also seen the introduction right at the start of the tellies, the new food, everything else that you've improved, the LED boards. The general matchday experience coming here now is tenfold. What do you, without going too much into it and giving too much away, what do you want to bring to next season's campaign? So
the EFL do a family excellence report, right? And they do it twice. They do one in the first half of the season, one in the second. And the headline from their first report was, Gillingham are providing a much improved but inconsistent experience. And I thought that actually summed up where we're at pretty well. Where
on the pitch or off?
Maybe as a club, I'm not getting involved in that. But like that is actually where we are. Like, we are hugely improved. I think everyone will agree. Generally, coming to Priestfield now, you'll get a better experience than you would have a year or 2 ago. But we are still inconsistent. So I believe at times you can go to pub grub in the Rainham End and get a pie one week and go, God, that pie was outstanding. You could go back the next week, it takes you half an hour to get it, and it's cold. And that's the problem, where we just need to go, that those standards that we set, on a good week need to be the base. And that's what we're working on. That's where we're getting there. You got to, it's the same. Rome wasn't built in a day, and it does take time to get that consistency. But that's what we're really focusing on. We've got a few improvements to make around the kiosks. So we're looking at putting TV screens around the kiosks, and then we're trying to actually get a feed of the game. So people who are stood in the queue waiting for food can watch the game behind them. Like that's. I'm not going to set a time limit on it, because everything always... We have the screens. The screens are in the building. That's the easy part. But then, well, actually, if we're adding all this stuff, your network then needs to be developed, right? And the quotes we've had for the network being developed is ridiculous. Like, I'm doing... so all of a sudden you go, we've got all these plans, all these intentions, but also got to be sensible. So we're now going through a process of trying to upgrade the infrastructure around the stadium to be able to put the screens that we already bought up. So those sorts of things are happening. The progress might be slower than in the first year. You know, we're looking for 5 and 10% here rather than 50, 75s. So that should happen. We're looking at more sort of halftime entertainment at the moment. You know, crossbar challenges probably been done. You know, like, so it's that sort of thing where we're looking to develop. So we have plans, but as I say, we're probably looking at little 5% plans. We have 1 or 2 plans that are big, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you about them because no, Brad probably would sit here and tell you about them and then worry about it afterwards. Shannon would tell me off. But yeah, we have 1 or 2 big plans, but we're working on, you know, how are we funding it? Is it the right thing to do? Can we deliver it before I sit here and tell you about it?
Can we bring back the Boddingtons? Because I hate Cruz Campo.
Well, we've got to deal with Heineken. So Heineken are they have our pouring rights, and we put on their beers, and obviously don't let the sponsorship to that. So for the time being, we can't just pick and choose what we do. But always interested to hear what people think, and this seems to divide opinion. Some people go, "Oh yeah, we have great beers," and then other people go, "Oh, can we not do something with Shepherd Neame?" And you know, like Heineken have provided us a really good service for a number of years. That they are a good partner of ours. I think the beer selection's pretty good, but equally I don't drink beer, so so I'm probably the wrong person to make that joke.
Hypothetically, it's a playoff final day and we've got Crawley. Which end are you in? 'Cause they're just as much in it as we are.
Are you needed in another room?
Yeah.
Oh, no, we've got a quiz.
Was this the first question of the quiz? Because I don't like the quiz. It's funny, I was chatting to my dad about this at the weekend, and he was going, "Oh God, it'd be the dream." I said it would be a nightmare. I said it would, like, you never thought Crawley had never been to Wembley, but I said it would be ridiculous that the first time I'd see Crawley Town at Wembley, I've supported since I was 5, and I'm sat there wanting them to lose, you know, which would be nuts. But look, I'm so. We're all desperate to do it. We're desperate to do it for the fans. Yeah. I personally would love to do it for Brad and Shannon. I think for them it would be brilliant. So we're still believing, and yeah, it would be great. Right, let's put it this way. Let me tell. Sorry, James. I know you're getting quiz. My wife's going on holiday. My family going on holiday, and they go away on like the 13th of May for like a week. And I said, I can't go. She said, what do you mean you can't go? I said, play a final that weekend. And so my wife and my son are all going on holiday. My mum's going, my family are going, and I'm not going because I'm holding out for the playoff final. I believe that's why I'm putting my holiday where my mouth is.
There we go.
Sorry,
right. It is quiz time. It's quiz time. Joe's going to stay and take part, which is great. We've got 10 questions.
Okay, are they all Gillingham questions?
They're all Gillingham questions.
Great.
All Gill's questions. And all based sort of around this month.
Okay. And now we're talking.
Right. So, number 1. Okay.
We're just doing answers. We're going round.
Yeah. We'll just go round. We'll go for you, then you, then you. All right. Okay. Shadow G played 90 minutes with Wrexham at the weekend, but of what percentage did he win his aerial duels?
91.
77.
Yeah, around 70% for me. Yeah.
Joe Compass closest. 100%.
100%. See, I back him.
Right, number 2. In percentage again, how much possession did Gills have away at Notts County?
I don't think it's as low as we might have thought. I'm going to say 42.
38.
28.
Bang on the money. 28%.
I thought it was high 30s. I didn't think it was as bad as it seemed.
Right, number 3. How many appearances has Max Amer made for the Gills? Bonus point if you can name what position he sits in the all-time appearance makers.
401, and I'm gonna say 6.
See, I thought it was like 250 something, but I think he's joined 10th.
Yeah, he's joint 10th. Oh, it is around the 400 mark as well. I don't know the exact number.
What say a number?
Bang on 400.
Bang on 400.
Yeah, I know.
What did you say?
251.
What did you say?
I said 401.
You're closest. It's 388.
Support this guy.
And he's joined 9th.
Oh, he's moved up.
Yeah. Right, number 4. What year did Swindon last win at Priestfield?
During COVID?
2013.
No. 2007.
No.
I don't think they've won it in the 21st century, you know.
No, I know actually. Someone told me.
Is it the 80s?
Is it 97?
No, we didn't play them from 88. B88.
1986.
Decades of dominance, boys.
Number 5. What year did we last beat Walsall at Priestfield?
Oh, do you see how I looked away there as if I'm like, let me just... Not a clue. I don't know why I pretended I might be able to plug
2005.
I'm going to go 2006.
2007.
2007. Right. Joe should definitely get this. Number 6. Season tickets got released this week. Going off the price of an adult season ticket in the Rainham end, how much does it work out per game?
I am going to say £15.60.
£18.25.
16 quid.
£15.86.
26p. That's not too bad.
That is not bad. That is not bad. Number 7. Glenn Morris picked up man of the match on Gill's Twitter account on Saturday with 1,088 votes made. What percentage did Glenn win by?
Oh, I reckon he probably got about 43%.
Wait, is that how many percent he got? Or how many
Yeah.
62.
40%.
36.7%. Robbie McKenzie came on as a late sub on Saturday. How many appearances has he now made for Gills?
Retweeted this.
Don't cheat.
Don't cheat. What are you doing?
I have no idea. I'm going to say 186.
170.
102.
147.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way. But
Yeah.
Question number 9. Tate Holton was on the bench on Saturday for Gills. What's his squad number?
Should know that, shouldn't I? 34?
31.
36.
33.
Oh, come on.
And last question. How many fans did Gills take on a Friday night to Notts County?
961.
I thought it was a high 800s. 895.
980.
953. There we go.
I don't know if he was Cameron's score, but I felt like I won.
3 for Joe Compa. Oh, it's a tie. 3-3.
Useless.
I didn't get 3.
Yeah.
No, you got 2.
You got a tie-break question. I've got to think of one now.
I'll give him 1.
Go on then.
How many of Conor Masterson's goals this season have been headers?
How many scored? 6 or 7?
Don't know, mate.
I'm going to say 3.
I was going to say 3 as well. I'll do that now. Can I? 2.
4.
Oh.
He's one against Walsall. The only one with his feet.
Compa takes it.
Yeah.
Well,
Joe Compa takes it. There we go.
Accrington, header.
Good way to round it off tonight. Thank you very much to Joe for joining us this evening, explaining about season tickets and everything else. Thanks very much. I hope you enjoyed the little snippet from Shannon Gallison's interview. That'll be out later this week, maybe next week at some point.
I'm looking at Nick as to
yeah,
say, how quickly are you going to edit it?
Next week.
I've seen a little bit of it and it's gold. What a legend, by the way.
Yeah, what a legend. Yeah, very, very good. Yeah, so next week.
No, I'm
Yeah,
talking
not
about Shannon.
yet. Right. Yeah, we'll round it off then. Thanks very much for watching. You've been watching the ME7 podcast. Good night.